Welcome back, everyone. Let's go and do a comparison between the Google Pixel 5a and the iPhone 11 and see which one you should pick up. Now, I'll be honest, there's actually, this year is more of a competitive, year than last year, in my opinion. Between these two phones, there may not be a complete, like, oh, this is the better phone than this one. Like, I don't really see that here. Now, the Pixel 5a, $449 starting price. The iPhone 11 is $599 in the brand new market. So keep that in mind. I will leave both of these linked down below. You can get them from Amazon and help support the channel at the same time. Now, side by side, you can see there's definitely a little bit of a difference. You may automatically think the Pixel 5a is the better looking one, and you would not be wrong. The Pixel 5a has that 6.34-inch OLED panel, is 1080p, and it's a hole punch panel. And for this price tag, that is a really good type of design to have on a phone like this. Now with the iPhone 11, it does have that notch, but it's a 6.1-inch IPS panel, lower resolution than the Pixel 5a, but it still looks really good. Like, I've had very few complaints about this panel. Although it's not OLED, it really doesn't look that bad, and in some ways it does look better than an OLED panel, which is so crazy to say. Apple did a really good job in this panel, but possibly the Pixel 5a may have a better advantage here because it is an OLED screen. Now, looking to the side, you will see that there's a little bit of a thickness difference, I think. Actually, not. I think the Pixel 5 is a little bit thicker, but there is a good reason that this phone is a little bit thicker. It's also a bigger phone overall, but the chassis of the iPhone 11 feels so much more premium. The iPhone 11 feels so much better than the Pixel 5a, at least in terms of the sides, but also on the back, you can see that the iPhone 11 has a dual camera setup, and so does the Pixel 5a. No fingerprint sensor on the iPhone 11 where the Pixel 5a has it. You also have a headphone jack on the top of the Pixel 5a, which is pretty crazy. The iPhone 11 doesn't have that either, but you don't have a glass back on the Pixel 5a. So that's one of my bigger disadvantages of the 5a. It doesn't feel as premium as something like an iPhone 11. Although this is apparently a metal back now, it still feels kind of like a rubberized texture. The iPhone 11 still is a much more premium feeling device. So without a doubt, the iPhone 11 is the one I would rather recommend people buying if it's a premium thing. But the Pixel 5a looks better, to be honest. Like, when you look at the front of both of these, I mean, just being real, the iPhone 11 looks a little bit outdated now, which is pretty crazy to say, So I think the Pixel 5a probably wins, at least on the screen panel, but the iPhone 11 wins in terms of the way it feels for sure. So in terms of the outside, that covers it up there. Now, a pretty big difference between the two is going to be software. Now, although they're both stock software, the Pixel 5a probably still won't last as long as the iPhone 11 on stock software support, even though the Pixel 5a is still going to be lasting for a very long time for an Android. If you're going to get an Android and you want the longest, best supported software, the Pixel 5a is probably the better way to go. Now, with the iPhone 11, you're getting a really good supported phone, even though it's 2 years old at this point. It's still very good. I've had very few complaints, like I mentioned before. This phone is still going to be supported for quite a bit of time as well. So if you're talking about which one is going to get the most amount of support between the two, the iPhone 11 is the winner. I don't really know which one is going to end off before the other one, though. Maybe the iPhone 11 will get an extra year of support at the end of its life cycle, beating the Pixel 5a. But there's also a chance the Pixel 5a, there's a more of a chance the Pixel 5a will actually get, maybe a year of extra support or something like that. So again, I don't know for 100% fact, but that's kind of what we're seeing here. But the bigger difference between these two is the battery life. You have about a 3,000 mAh battery on the iPhone 11, where you have over a 4,600 mAh battery on the Pixel 5a. Now, I have not charged this phone yet. I've made several videos on the Pixel 5a, and I haven't charged it yet, and it's still pretty much almost fully charged, which is so crazy. So between the two, the Pixel 5a is definitely the winner in terms of battery life. Software support is going to be a little bit different, but we'll get there when we get there, in my opinion. So that covers it up there. Let's go and do a speed comparison between the two. The iPhone 11 has that Apple A13 Bionic chip inside of it with 4 gigs of RAM. The Pixel 5a has that Qualcomm Snapdragon 760G chipset inside of it with 6 gigs of RAM. So let's go and see which one is the faster phone between both of these. Okay, there we go. All the apps are clear in the background, as you guys can see. Let's get into it. Let's do phone calls. 3, 2, 1. And definitely, I think the iPhone 11 was the faster one there. Gesture-wise, I think it does seem a little bit smoother on the iPhone 11. Let's open up their app stores. 3, 2, 1. I think the Pixel 5a is going to win. Yep. They optimize the Play Store so well on Androids, so it opens up like almost instantaneous. You can see the iPhone 11 was a little bit slower there. Let's get into the camera apps. 3, 2, 1. And almost identically the same. There wasn't really that big of a difference there. Now, as always, I have a bunch of these third-party apps we can go and get into. So let's see which ones we have that are the same. I think it's almost all of them. Let's do Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. And you can see, I think the iPhone 11, yeah, the iPhone 11 is the winner there, at least in this specific game. The iPhone 11 wasn't too far behind, but or the Pixel 5a wasn't too far behind. The iPhone 11, as you guys can see, was the one ahead. Getting into some gameplay, you can see there probably isn't that big of a difference, but definitely a speed difference. The iPhone 11 was the winner there. Let's get into BOFA. 3, 2, 1. And I think the Pixel 5a was faster to get into that panel. The iPhone 11 just a little bit behind. Let's get into Instagram, which I don't have. Let's get into Twitter. 3, 2, 1. Now I may be logged in here. No, I wasn't. So I think the iPhone 11 is still the faster one there. Snake vs. Blocks. 3, 2, 1. And you can see the Pixel 5a actually the winner there. Surprisingly, I was not expecting that. Gameplay wise, you can see I don't really think there's going to be that big of a difference between these two. This is a pretty basic game, but it can get a little choppy for some of these phones. Let's get into stack. 3, 2, 1. And I think the Pixel 5a was the faster one there. The iPhone 11 a little bit behind. Let's do Quizlet. 3, 2, 1. And about the same here too, not that big of a difference. Dune, which I don't think I have here, so we'll skip to Snapchat, which I think I'm logged out, but we'll see. 3, 2, 1. And maybe the Pixel 5a is faster. Again, this one was maybe on an outdated version, but I mean, dude, I can definitely tell you, I still think it's kind of like a tie. You know, I really didn't think there was that big of a, there's going to be this big of a difference, and there really isn't. Like, they're both almost identically the same. There's sometimes the Pixel 5a is faster, and there's sometimes the iPhone 11 is faster. So there's something you have to keep in mind. You know, the Pixel 5a is the newest one, the iPhone 11 a little bit older. So the fact that they're kind of the same, could it be said that the Pixel 5a's chipset is about the same as an Apple A13 Bionic? I don't know, I guess we'll see when we game test thoroughly, but I think it's about the same between these two. Maybe the iPhone 11's a little bit faster here and there, but the Pixel 5a is very close, so that pretty much covers it up there. Let's go ahead on the cameras. And like I mentioned before, dual camera setups on both and almost the same exact setup. A 12 megapixel wide angle lens, but there's a 16 megapixel ultra wide sensor on the Pixel 5a, where there's a 12 megapixel ultra wide sensor on the iPhone 11. Now I think the iPhone 11's camera is still going to be better overall, but I will tell you the Pixel 5a's camera, from what I've heard and some photo shots I've seen and some photos I've taken myself, it does look like it's a pretty decent camera setup overall. And if it's anything like the Pixel 5's, I'm sure this is going to be a solid camera as well. 4K at 60 on the back of both of these, which is great, but there is a disadvantage for the front. The iPhone 11 has the ability of shooting 4K at 60, where the Pixel 5a can only do 1080p on the front of this camera. So kind of a disadvantage for the Pixel 5a. It's something that I guess we're going to have to live with now, but hopefully with the Pixel 6, you know, we do get 4K at 60. If we still don't have 4K at 60 on the front of the Pixel 6, that is going to be a massive issue, and I'm going to probably boycott the Pixel 6 when that comes out. So now to kind of sum up this video and to answer the question, should you go and buy a Pixel 5a or should you go buy an iPhone 11? Well, this is what I'll tell you, you know, I think as of right now, I think the Pixel 5a may be a better deal than an iPhone 11. This phone is, you know, substantially cheaper than an iPhone 11 brand new, $450 for this phone versus $600 for this phone. And I think for the base models, you're getting twice as more storage on this one. There's only one 28 gig model on this, but there's a 64 gig model of this one. So you're getting twice the amount of storage. You're getting almost the same type of speed from what I've seen, still beautiful software, pretty similar cameras on the back, although the front camera on the iPhone 11 is better. I think that this one looks better screen, and you're getting a headphone jack, which is really cool. But the iPhone 11 is a really good phone still. I would not go from an iPhone 11 to a Pixel 5a. That would be a downgrade in some areas, but you're getting a better build quality on the iPhone 11, better cameras overall, especially better front-facing camera, still a pretty good screen. You know, I don't really have too many complaints about it. I think, you know, iOS is still very good. You're going to be getting long software support on this specific phone, which is another pretty big advantage. And overall, I think if I had an iPhone 11 or Pixel 5a, I would keep it. But between the two, I don't think you can go wrong with the Pixel 5a. I think the 5a is a beautiful phone. It has a lot going for it. But I think the iPhone 11 is also a very good phone too. If you need an iOS device, get this one. If you need Android, get this one. But I think for the price tag, the Pixel 5a is probably a better price in my opinion. So that pretty much covers it up there. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section as well. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.